James, Tony Mahler with ASA. Nice to meet you. Nice.
And get advanced, we just like the opportunity to be involved in this. It's a great program, great to see the youth getting involved in stuff too. It's not always about just the shops. Thank you for letting us be a part of this and being here. It's a great turnout. Looking forward to doing more things as ASA here in the Dallas-Fort Worth market and all of Texas too. So that I believe we're turning it over to you.
Chris, thank you.
Awesome.
Okay, now I am going to introduce the co-sponsor to the program, which is TechStock. And where did Becky go? There we go.
I have to go turn on that. I'm going to go turn on the big camera.
So, this is Becky
Or just do
TechStock.
this.
She's going to talk about it. We are going to continue this program into next year. We'll have a little bit more advanced warning this year as to how all ASA shops and how Advance is going to participate in it. And so maybe we can kind of kick it up a notch. All right?
Thank you. Yes, thank you to ASA for helping us co-sponsor this program and also to Advance. We are so, I just want to say this is the very first year that Rising Texas has held a poster contest. And whenever we saw the entries, I was so shocked to see how great they were. And then to see the age of Gloria, I'm so happy that you were the winner, and congratulations. So you get to buy yourself something really cool. I just want to say a couple things about Drive Clean Texas. It's our clean air program, clean air pollution program to remind citizens that little things that you might forget, such as keeping our tires properly inflated and not popping out of the gas result of skies. And one of the most important things that we coach you we're so happy to team up with you guys for this contest, and we are so excited to be doing it again next year. So be on the lookout for it, and I just want to say thank you to everybody for helping make this possible, and of course, congratulations to Gloria. Thank you.
Okay. So we will continue on with our program here. And so, how's everybody like the choice for the lunch?
Good.
Good. Okay. Yay! So our next presenter is going to be Tony Mahler. He is the ASA Vice President. He is going to talk to us about the current state of ASA and what is the plan in the future. So I turn it over to Tony. Thank you, Tony. Thank you. Yeah.
I knew he'd cut me in mid-shoe. Thank you all. By the way, congratulations to the winners. That was a great program. We are delighted with the results. Thank you for TechStock for allowing us to do it. Thank you to Advance for sponsoring and making it all possible. And again, let me start by saying, the only way these organizations are able to provide this type of venue and this type of information for you is through the support of our sponsors. So please take the time, if you haven't already, to visit their tables before and after your meetings. Let them know how much you appreciate them, because they really are the heart and soul as to what makes this work. So thank you all to the vendors. I've been asked to come here today to give you kind of an update on where we are at the national level with the Automotive Service Association. As you know, ASA is in all 50 states, and we have affiliates in about 16 of those. ASA Texas is one of them. Give you a little bit of, I'm going to talk about three things: what's now, what's new, and what's next, to give you an idea of where we are, what is new right on the horizon or just been launched, and what is coming. And I'd like to start by giving you a rundown of who your leadership is at the national level at the moment. As you can see from the listing here, our chairman is Roy Schnepper. This is Roy's last year as chairman. He will be replaced at our annual meeting in the April-May time frame by Bob Wills, our chairman-elect. Roy's a collision shop owner in Michigan. Bob is a mechanical shop owner in Michigan. Fred Hughes, our secretary-treasurer, is a mechanical shop owner in Arizona. Tom Pipo, our mechanical division director, again, is a mechanical shop owner in Michigan. Scott Benavides, our collision director. This is Scott's last year as the collision division director. You will be voting on a new collision division director with the ballots that are coming out for 2019. Alyssa Larimore is a shop owner in Shreveport, Louisiana, collision shop owner. She has 3 locations, relatively new to the board. And Todd Black is another one of our directors. He's a shop owner in the Pacific Northwest. And Todd is also up for re-election this year. So again, you'll be voting for a new collision division director and a new director's position. Please look for those ballots when they come out and let us know who you feel is best suited for the job. That's at the national level. These are all volunteer leaderships, much like your own. It's a great board of directors. They have been extremely involved in the association for the last couple of years and remain involved as we go through the current transition that's happening within the organization, which I'll get to in a minute. Your national leadership team at the national office in North Richland Hills. Beth Reich is our acting COO at the moment. Myself, I'm still working as vice president of the organization. I handle most of the industry relations side of the business. Stephanie Torres. Stephanie, would you mind standing up? Stephanie's at the table outside, as is Brenda Rodriguez. Brenda, would you mind standing up? Stephanie is our director of finance and membership services. Brenda works with her. We have Leona Dalvai Scott, our director of marketing communications. Leona, would you mind standing up? Leona, by the way, was instrumental in helping us bring the Drive Clean program to fruition, and down to her team actually picking the frames out. So, but Leona actually is also spearheading a significant change to Auto Inc. magazine, which I will get to a little bit later in the presentation. And finally, we have David Lowell, our director of operations. David's the one that keeps the lights on and the air conditioning working for us. So, again, that is your national leadership team. In addition to this, we have several staff members, of course. Brenda is one of them. We have several others. And if you, chances are, if you call the national office, you're going to be talking to one of the folks on that list. And feel free to do so. We are there to serve you. So let's dive right into what's going on now, okay? One of the things I wanted to point out specifically, there's always something new going on within the organization, but this is something that we've been doing for a while. We're calling Webinar Wednesdays. For those of you who may not be aware of it, every, Leona, third Wednesday?
Third Wednesday.
Thank you. Every third Wednesday at 11 o'clock, or noon? Noon, thank you, Central Time. We have a webinar that is open to the industry live. Anyone who does have to be an ASA member can join us. We record that webinar for on-demand viewing by our membership. It's one of our member benefits. We started this because we were in the middle of a project with actually Bosch talking about the scanning issue with collision shops. And we were somewhat surprised by the tremendous response we got. We were getting like 800-900 people signing up for each of these webinars. So we proceeded with them, and every month you're going to find a topic of interest to you as a shop owner, either an industry issue, a management topic, or in some cases a technical topic. But the idea here is that we're building a library of on-demand information, again, that you can access as a member of ASA, both technical and management topics. It's a great resource if you're having a chapter meeting. All you have to do is have a laptop with an internet connection and a PowerPoint projector, and you can actually provide a recorded video as a presentation for a chapter meeting. So something to keep in mind for those of you who are planning such things, or if you just want to do something like that in your shop. If you want to give your technicians a lunchtime, dinner and movie kind of experience, as a member, you can just use an internet connection to download these, and again, have them attend a webinar on some topic of interest to the industry. We're actually so happy with what's happening. We're looking at increasing the frequency of these going forward. And again, it could be anything from a presentation by Bob Redding on a legislative topic, or whatever's new and now going on in the industry that you should be aware of as a shop owner. So again, one of the many resources to keep in mind going forward. And the reason I'm specifying this one is because it's electronic, and as we move into the 21st century, you're going to be seeing information delivered a lot more in this type of format. And again, I'll talk a little bit more about that as we move forward. ASA has always been known for its member benefits. We're always evaluating what we have as a member benefit, updating, listening to our affiliate leadership to tell us what their members are asking for. So far this year, we have added 4 new membership providers. One is called Podium. It is a social media type of service that you should be looking into. Kukui, some of you may be familiar with. Kukui has a whole suite of things that they can provide, everything from basically a customer service management type of equation to a digital inspection process. We have a new oil program provider. It used to be Shell. They have backed away from that. We now have replaced them with Chevron. That program actually launches next month. And if you sell motor oil, and if you use motor oil in your business, many of us do, you may want to look into this. They have a bulk purchase program that will return to you significant discounts and add to your bottom line, the purpose of what the member benefits are for. And finally, I mentioned digital vehicle inspections. One of our former members of the Mechanical Operations Committee, a shop owner from Wilmington, Delaware, named Pete Rudloff, actually has created an app called FlexCheck. This is a shop owner who built a tool for shops, which is specifically dedicated to digital vehicle inspections. If you're not looking or using digital vehicle inspections at the moment, you might want to look into that. It's a process that is becoming more and more popular within the shop. It's a great customer communications tool, and actually you will find it does a great job of helping to make sure that you are maximizing the opportunities that are available, while at the same time serving your customers by keeping them informed as to the condition of their vehicle, and what needs to be done right now, what needs to be done a little bit later, and maybe what they should keep an eye on for going forward. So again, all tools to help increase your outreach and your communication with your customers, which is something that is going to become more important as we go forward for a couple of reasons. Talking a little bit about legislative. A lot of times when we are talking to our members about what they really find important, what value do they see in the association, 9 times out of 10, legislative representation advocacy will come up at the top of the list. That's particularly true today. There's a bunch of stuff going on in Washington, D.C. that is going to have a direct impact on your business. Some of you are probably aware of some of this stuff. Telematics, cybersecurity issues. Everything happens through the center stack of the vehicle right now. There's a great deal of concern over some of the hacking incidents that have happened, that the legislators in Washington, D.C. are taking a hard look at how to limit the access to that center stack in order for customer privacy issues, but also for some cybersecurity concerns. Okay, making sure that the independent service community has access to that center stack is critical in the diagnostic and repair process, and will become more so going forward. Current discussions in Washington, D.C. not only center around the access to the electronics of the vehicle so we can do our work, but also to the information that resides on that vehicle. If you stop and think for a minute, every time you hop in a vehicle, if your cell phone is paired, it's probably downloading a whole bunch of information that you don't even know about. Who owns that information? Who has access to that information? These are important questions. And right now, there's quite a bit of discussion going on within the industry and at the highest levels of government as to how that information should be controlled and regulated. ASA is the only national association right now advocating for the independent repair shop at this level. Again, it's something that's going to touch your life dramatically going forward, depending on which way some of these things go. If you aren't paying attention to this through the communications that you're getting from ASA, you should be. Because again, it's something that's going to affect your business just as much as the Clean Air Act did back in the 90s. AV legislation, autonomous vehicles, you've all heard about those, self-driving cars. How's that going to affect our business? I'm going to talk a little bit about that later specifically. But for right now, that same type of legislative process is going on in Washington, D.C. to regulate the way these systems are being developed. It may or may not have an impact at the automotive repair level, but if you think about it for a second, who is going to verify that the AV systems that we are depending on to not only control the vehicle, but to avoid obstacles like people, how are those standards going to be developed, and what is it going to take to ensure that the systems that they developed are functioning properly? There's definitely a role to be played here by the independent aftermarket in verifying that these types of systems are working as they should. And again, That applies to something else called the Advanced Driver Assist System, which again I'll talk about in a minute. On the collision repair side, any collision shops in the room? Okay, well, for your collision brethren out there, OEM repair procedures. It's a question of liability. Right now, there's been a great deal of debate in the aftermarket and frankly in the industry about who says what is a correct repair when it comes to collision repair. Collision repair shops feel, and a lot of industry advocates feel, that the OE repair procedures are the baseline. When in doubt, go to those. Okay. But there's no codification of that. There's no requirement that you do that. That's the type of thing that is coming up for discussion in Washington, D.C. We had a press conference at our NACE show in Atlanta this year that announced an alliance between ASA and the Alliance of Automobile Manufacturers to explore this topic and figure out, because not all repairs do have an OEM procedure attached to it, how do we plug the holes? How do we use this information? How do the shops access this information in a timely manner? And most importantly, what's this going to mean to repair costs and availability of parts and things like that? Lots of important issues that need to be decided. Again, that are going to have a direct impact on your day-to-day operations. We have two committees at ASA, the Mechanical Operations Committee and the Collision Operations Committee, whose job it is to keep the Board of Directors and the membership informed of what's going on out in the industry, what topics are bubbling up to the surface. A couple of things that have come up that I wanted to make you aware of that we are continuing work on. Preventive maintenance and vehicle inspection, PMVI programs, have been under attack for a number of years out in the industry. They still are. We have a young lady from Austin, Texas, one of our members, who contacted us, who we are sponsoring at the Texas State Inspection Association meeting, I believe it was last week. She's going to come back and report to the MOC what happened there. Our industry advocate in D.C., Bob Redding, our Washington representative, has been focusing on PMVI issues for a while. This is a nationwide issue, not just for Texas, but Texas is going to be one of those battlegrounds for us. So again, we're going to be looking for your support and your input and involvement in talking to legislators as these issues come up. So again, pay attention to some of those ASA communications because they will have a direct bearing on what you do. Telematics I've already touched on. That's another big issue that the Mechanical Operations Committee is involved with in conjunction with our Washington representative. Again, if we're going to be testifying before Congress, if we're going to be offering input from the industry, we want that input to come from the industry. The Mechanical Operations Committee is made up of shop owners like yourselves. So is the Collision Operations Committee. That is the direct link to the highest levels of government through our Washington representative, directly from the repair bay to the halls of Congress. Same is true on the Collision Operations Committee. I mentioned the Advanced Driver Assist Systems earlier. ADAS is a pretty big deal in the industry for a whole bunch of different reasons. Collision shops are finding themselves having to do pre- and post-vehicle scanning. They've never had to do that before, and a lot of them have sublet that work. But it's part and parcel of what constitutes a proper repair now. And again, there are some conversations about, well, who pays for that? The insurance industry is saying, well, we don't think it's necessary. The repairers are saying, no, it's absolutely necessary. Car manufacturers have come up with several position statements that require a pre- and post-vehicle scan. And this actually, the advent of the advanced driver assist system, the electronics in the entire vehicle, has become so integrated into everything that they do, not only on the mechanical side, but especially on the collision repair side.
You can hold that. Sorry, hey, Polly. Tomato basil?
Yes, please.
Sure.
Well, I'll tell you what, then.
Help yourselves to something to eat.
Like a one of these pieces in half, so that there's a half piece for something.
There is a open question right now. There's other stuff you want to know.